Our next speaker is one of the top commercial directors in the Greek Super League, Mr. Leonidas Papavasilakis of OFI FC. He will talk to us about the unknown story from the bankrupted club to the best football club of 2020 in Greece. Mr. Papavasilakis, over to you.
Good evening. Good evening from Crete. Thank you for the invitation. I don't know if I'm one of the top, but I'm sure I'm maybe the oldest. I will start with a phrase of famous writer Nikos Kazantzakis, the Cretan writer, that says, when you do the right thing, even on the edge of the world, it has an impact on the whole universe. It means we don't feel that we are on the edge of the world, but it's a small club. OFI FC is a small club based in Crete, and it has the restrictions of a small club and of the size that we are. Let me tell you a few short story how we are here now. We had, and we still have, because it's an ongoing procedure, the ideal conditions to build a model sports organization. First of all, OFI FC, it's an old club with heritage and story and history, carries a great sports legacy, while at the same time, it has the unique advantage to represent the biggest and strongest sports brand name in entire region of Crete. Initially, there is the most important ingredient for such development of creating a new area of a club. So first of all, we had the first ingredient, that was the investor. He's the investor and the president of the club. He's a Greek American, a businessman with a vision and principles common to ours. I'm talking for the whole management team, with patents and perfection. The second component in this project is the staffing by specialists, the right person in the right place in management. And the third component was the research, a very detailed research in business and in sport business that was analyzed to the entrepreneur, to the investor, the reasons of the business investment in sports, in sports industry in Greece, and what the prospects and of return it could have in the future. We start first of all with the absolute separation of the competition department, of the development department, from the administrative sector. That was very, very critical from the first moment that we start working for the club. As we see lately in recent years, big clubs in Greece, they have captured management models and as advanced and other clubs in Europe or in America. And this creates an optimistic fact that can affect all sports industry in Greece. We captured, as a club, I'm talking for the recent management, the best practices. We adapted them to the size and specific features in our own organization, and we did not copy them. We didn't copy another model, but we adapt the best practices, taking into account the special parameters of the history, which is very important for the club of OFI and for the Crete, of course. There is a pride. OFI is the pride of Crete, and the local society, the fans. That it's a very important part in this project, and of our geography, in combination with the challenges of the present time and the new era. We design the structure and the organization chart of the club according to the standards of and the methods of a public limited company. Let's say if I can have an example of how we create the business model of the club. We follow procedures, structures, budget, elements that they are company characteristics in our daily operation, regardless of whether our organization has product to sell. If I can say that we sell product, a spectacle which is converted in creation of emotions. Actually, we are in show business. So we have stable financial base, organization at all levels. I'm talking for the sports department and the administrative department. Sequence and control, budget sequence, which is very, very important because sometimes we had very bad examples of not following procedures and budgets in Greece, and many clubs bankrupt. Integration and adoption by the whole organization of its actions and practices, so that everyone, athletes and administrators, us, I mean, can express it with their daily actions. We strongly believe that the athletes and what they produce as an image is the core business of our image and of our public image, let's say. There is a compatibility of public and internal image. This is very, very important, and that allows us to create and to adapt, as I said before, the philosophy and the new ideas that we try to create in our club. We start in 2018, October 2018, and we follow 4 steps. First of all was the idea of why we're here. Then it was a design, I mean, how we design the structures and the procedures. Then it was the implementation of it. And at the end, it's, as I said before, an ongoing procedure, the control. Sports have a very big difference than any other service or product. They are produced and they are consumed at the same time. So it means that you cannot save a live show, for example, or a live game. But at the same time, emotions, desires, images, things that produced by the live show, if I may allow the word so, which are immediately capitalized either with the videos, images, through the media, or with direct interactions with our fans, with the team, building the basis on which a sports organization creates its commercial practices in marketing and communication. As we design and we have formed the framework and determined the way of communication, we should also have to create that show in content. This content should incorporate the ideas and internal culture of the team. Otherwise, it has no value. This is the most basic condition for a product to be formed. It is fundamental for these core principles, values, and club culture to be served by anyone in the team, as I said before, and regardless of position or specialization. I mean, no matter if he's an athlete or not an athlete, from the base of the pyramid to the top and vice versa. Let me tell you how important it is to have the environment, to design it first of all, and have it strong and framed. Let me show you an example with a ball. So the environment in which each arm of a sports organization creates work is very important, as I said, as well as the environment in which an idea or philosophy is developed. It is especially important how resistant of outer casing is to external pressures, since the vibrations it receives. For example, this is a balloon. So the outer casing of this balloon is very thin, and very sensitive to pressures. See? So on the other hand, if you have a ball, as it is, so no matter how pressure gets from outside, remain as it is. So because the sports product is unpredictable, and this is the sexy part in sports, actually, and its quality cannot be completely controlled by all elements that you can predict, since there is always the unpredictable element. So it was very important to the outer case of the club and of the product to be strong and very well developed. Meanwhile, we have expanded our sponsorships with a new exceptional commercial partnerships and agreements. I have to remind you that we are almost 2 years based in Crete. So we try to express our image in order to capitalize it with new commercial alliances. We developed, for example, an OFI credit card for first time in our history, in collaboration with Piraeus Bank. We formed the pyramid of our sponsors with big brands by category in Greece, in telecoms, energy, etc. We convinced and proved to large international and national companies that the revival of OFI was based on a plan with a perspective for the future. We upgraded the services in the old stadium, and meanwhile, through a complete plan of merchandise, we established the first OFI flagship store in collaboration with Cosmos Sport chain, which is the largest in sports apparel chain in Greece, and Puma. And actually right now we have two boutiques, two stores, the flagship in the stadium and another one in the center of the city as a shop-in-shop. And there is a plan for the third one. At the same time, we went out to our fans. We did not expect them to come to the stadium or to come to us. We went to them. The position and the role of a team has the responsibility to return to society the love and emotion it receives from it. So with a series of social actions, by raising public awareness and on major issues such as driving safety, breast cancer, AIDS campaign, school visits, and etc. So, and I will share with you a shortcut video of some actions where the total organization is participating, a series of actions with the participation of the club that document the extroversion. That was the first step that we were trying to make it happen. The extroversion of our philosophy, of our product, and our principles and values, and its response in a social responsibility returning in society. So actions, as you will see in a minute, already been awarded in 2020 Sports Marketing Awards. And at the same time, while our first year, we entered, as I said before, in October 2018, was certain the team was in the verge of bankruptcy, having just been promoted to the Super League without having financial stability and sources. Let me share with you the video of the of some activities where the whole club was participating, and it's very important. Sorry. Here we are.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bells swing and jingle bells ring. Snowing and blowing up bushels of fun. Now the jingle hop has begun.
Σήμερα για να περάσουμε ένα μήνυμα για την ασφαλή οδήγηση, διότι σαν χώρα και σαν νησί υπάρχουν πολλά τροχαία ατυχήματα και έτσι πρέπει να περάσουμε αυτό το μήνυμα, να προσέχει ο κόσμος, να τηρεί τους κανόνες για να μην θρηνήσουμε άλλα θύματα στους δρόμους.
Η ασφαλής πορεία μιας ομάδας μέσα στο γήπεδο εξαρτάται από πολλούς παράγοντες. Η ασφαλής πορεία μας όμως στους δρόμους εξαρτάται από εμάς τους ίδιους. Και στις δύο περιπτώσεις υπάρχουν απαράβατοι κανόνες, τους οποίους οφείλουμε να τηρούμε. Η δική μας ομάδα γνωρίζει καλά από κανόνες.
Μόλις μπω στο αυτοκίνητο, η πρώτη μου κίνηση είναι να βάλω τη ζώνη. Μην ξεχνάτε, η ζώνη σώζει ζωές.
Εμείς, παρόλο που είχαμε προπόνηση, ξυπνήσαμε το πρωί, όταν ήρθαμε εδώ ξεχάσαμε κούραση, ξεχάσαμε τα πάντα, γιατί πήραμε δύναμη. Όταν βλέπεις 70 χρονών άνθρωπο να καθαρίζει τις λάσπες, δεν μπορείς να νιώθεις κουρασμένος.
Το ποδόσφαιρο είναι ένα μικρό μέρος της ζωής. Μέσα από το ποδόσφαιρο πρέπει να δίνουμε συναισθήματα, χαρά και αν μπορούμε και μηνύματα όπως κάνει η ομάδα μας. Είμαστε εδώ γι' αυτό, είμαι σίγουρος ότι θα συνεχίσουμε να το κάνουμε. Είναι πιο σημαντικό από το ποδόσφαιρο όλα αυτά.
ο καινούριος πρόεδρος της ομάδας μας από την Αμερική, Ελληνοαμερικανός, ο κύριος Μιχάλης Μπούσης.
So sorry.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock.
Just give me a minute.
To stop the video.
Ring and jingle bells ring. Snowing and blowing up.
Just click on the video. to
Sorry,
stop.
just give me a minute.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Jingle hop has begun.
Okay. So we're here again. I'm not so familiar with I don't know if you hear me. I'm not so familiar with technology. I'm back here again.
Loud and clear. Loud and clear.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. I'm sorry. So I saw you a few of the activities that we had last year with the entire club involved, even the president in some of them. So that proves and documents what I said, that we adapt from the top to the bottom and from the bottom to the top, what we describe as a philosophy of the club. So actions, as I said, we were facing in the first year the verge of bankruptcy, having just been promoted, as I said, to the Super League without having financial stability and resources. And we remain in the category, which is very, very important, with a goal in the delays of the last month of the last match on the last game of the season. All this, the way that we remain in the Super League in the first year, 2019 actually, was cinematic, and at the same time was semantic for those who believe in metaphysics and miracles. And allow me to say that we believe in miracles. Otherwise, think of sports without its wonders would be neutral and predictable. So without the magic that creates emotions, they say, and we believe it, that in sports and especially in football, they say that sports and especially football is the last social movement of the world in Earth. So it unites and mobilizes people and masses with common feelings, regardless of social or other kind of divisions. As we complete the first year, we were working in the same time in this environment, and we started working in a very, very restricted, very closed working group with the rebranding of the club, of the logo of the club, and the issue of changing the logo brand of the club. It was because we were trying to give a new perspective, our new the beginning of the new era, and our fingerprint in what is it's coming in the future for the club. We designed a total, and allow me to say, a radical transformation on the aesthetic representation of the club's logo. And as I said before, the idea behind this was to mark the new era, the one that began with the new ownership and the new management of the team, and the new philosophy that operates our entire organization, as well as to integrate in the new brand, in the new logo, elements of culture, history, athletic heritage, and geography of region of Crete. It was a challenge, of course, and it was a very, very big decision for all of us, because as you all understand, the changes to clubs' logos around the world, not in Greece, are not something that usually happens. And in our case, it is essentially the only team logo conversion that has taken place in Greece. And let me show you how it was the first. Let me show you how it was the first one for the people that are not familiar with the old logo of the club. So that was the old logo, and we transform it to this. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. As I said, I didn't.
No problem, take your time.
Sorry, I'm not so familiar, as I said.
Obviously the one you have behind.
Yes, this is it, but I want to show you, a short video of it and how recreated, and then I can give you some explanations for what the symbols are. Here we are. Sorry. Here we are.
Ανάψαμε φωτιά και μεγαλώνει κι απ' άκρη σ' άκρη καίει το νησί. Γενιτσαρή κανένας δεν γλιτώνει, οι ομιλίτες είμαστε μαζί. Λατρεύουμε τον Όφη και την Κρήτη και το καμίνι τώρα ξαναζεί.
So, as you saw, we transform it to a perfect circle, and we include history, heritage, culture, and elements of the region of Crete. And on the same time, we create a new. You hear me? Yes, I hope. We create a new a secondary logo, which is the griffin, as you saw, the mythical monster. The griffin were the guards of the throne of King Minos here in Crete. I mean, so we transform into the secondary logo, which is let me show you again. No, okay, it's behind me. All right, it's easier. Yeah, I'm sorry. That was a very critical and very difficult moment for the club, because it's, as I said, it's an unusual and it's a very difficult decision to change the symbol. But actually, we didn't change it. We transformed it to the new aesthetic and the new era. It is very important that our work, our entire work in the club is rewarded by experts, because last year we were the Club of the Year in Sports Marketing Awards. That's why I'm here, I guess, and thank you very much. And this gives an extra, to us, an extra optimistic and motivation. The club in the past 2 years re-entered in the map of sports, in media, and in marketing field. We are finding our pace again. We are walking with very stable steps. Our goal and daily concern for all of us in the club, athletes and administrators, is to work with the prospect of producing work that has value, results, of operating the value of our club, athletic and commercial. Allow me to say again at the end of this speech, and I will use again the writer Nikos Kazantzakis, that there are not ideas that work by themselves. There are only people who carry ideas, and they get the height and the size of the people that they carry them. So I'm very proud for the people that they are participating in the club, athletes and administrators, for each one of them, for their professional skills and quality. And they do on daily basis their very best in order to achieve through new challenges, goals, and new targets. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Papavasilakis. Such an insightful presentation and inspiring video and story. We have about 10 minutes that we can receive the questions of the audience. We already have some, so Nikos is giving us the first one he has collected. And I'm going to start with the first one coming from Anastasios. I had the honor, he says, to play for the basketball club of OFI, and I know very well that the OFI brand name, what the OFI brand name means for Crete. So taking as an example many big European clubs that have elite teams in different sports, how feasible, profitable would this be for OFI, considering the circumstances in the Greek market?
Actually, we are facing, as I said in my introduction to the speakers of the webinar, we are facing the most significant changes in sports field, in sports market due to COVID. It means that we couldn't predict the effects and the tsunami of changes that happened since last year. So at this time, our priority is to stabilize the club, and on the second, and from one hand, and on the second hand is to renew our training facilities in order to attract more clubs to come to Crete for preparation, etc. And on the same time to create a new income by the training facilities. So OFI is one of the not many clubs in Greece that they have teams and in all sports, track and field, basket, volleyball, etc. We are focusing in football. This is actually, it's a separate arm of the club, the football club, and but we are working in many times united in order to achieve more results. So I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay, he has a second question on the same
person
page. Yeah, the same person. He says, does your business plan include a more holistic approach to support the local communities and disadvantaged groups?
A part of it, you saw it before. It's not a you know, the examples that I show you. There is a story behind it, because OFI and has to return, as I said, in the community, not part, the whole love and support that gets from the community, and this is the way that it is, especially here, that the OFI is the pride of Crete. So there are things that they are public, and there are things that we do that they're not in public, they are private. So yes, actually, as I said, the renovation of the training facilities is a huge project. It has 5 years timeline, 5 years plan to complete in the future. So we'll create new business positions, new opportunities, etc. But the whole club always is working and returns to the community with one way or the other the support and the love that gets.
So our next question comes from Maria. Maria asks, how difficult it is to implement your own strategy in a difficult environment such as the Greek sports ecosystem? What were the most important obstacles that you faced as a club?
I can say it's difficult, but the problem in sports is the unpredictable element, and we are facing things sometimes like couldn't predict them, and in the same time the environment in sports in Greece, it's is not let's use a very soft word, is not as it is in Europe. I mean, we don't act in sports as in business. So it's very difficult, yes, but on the same time it's very challenging, because we think that the OFI will be the way and show to other clubs that there is another way of working in sports. There are more opportunities than what we see, and we don't have the pattern of working. You know, the president is the coach, is doing the financial and whatever. We are fearful the whole organization with specialists, and we are working with strategy and plan and with a timeline. So I think, and we strongly believe, that we will make it at the end.
Okay. We have one more question from let's see. Yes, it's Nikolaos. Probably most of the question you have already answered. How did you manage to create such a strong surrounding which protected the main core of the club, such as the ball example you mentioned before, given the small amount of time there was in order to create a healthy sports club environment from point zero, essentially?
Yeah, yes, I answered. I mean, I noticed it before. The first and the critical element in this development is the people. But the people that they follow a philosophy, an idea, they believe it, they adopt it, and they produce their best, either athletes or administrators. So it's not an easy way, because there's no a recipe of doing things. It's an ongoing procedures with unpredictable and very sometimes sports is all surprises, but we are trying every day. The whole club is like a team. We are working together under certain guidelines. We follow the guidelines and the procedures, and we don't make it all right, but sometimes at the end, you know, what is producing has value and principles, and this is our main concern. Don't follow and don't step out of our principles and our target.
Next question from Stella. How appropriate that our Crete is leading by example, and I'm not a Cretan. do you think the Greek football industry is looking and listening? And if yes, do you think you have made already an impact to the revival of the Greek football product?
Yeah, no, I mean, in Crete, there are certain, I used many times in my speech, the certain characteristics of Crete, of region of Crete, of pride of Crete, etc. It is because there is a certain part with certain characteristics, and they affect us on daily basis. They affect us before to come here and during our procedure. I don't know if changing sports is it completes what we have in mind. We don't have to change anything. We just to follow a certain path with a certain way. So if others think or can see through our activities and our practices that we are doing the same way, and they affect them in a way, I think is a positive thing. The most important, as I said before, is the people, that they carry the ideas and they transform them to practices and actions. So I'm very proud of it, and we are not always right. There are many times in the past that we changed ideas, we changed the path, or we made deviations, for example, but never we didn't change our principles and our fundamental practices and standards.
Oh, and one last question. Apologies again, because the questions keep coming and coming, and we are finishing our session. So, thanks for your presentation. You mentioned creating work and opportunities. Do you see scope in expanding your team from a scientific perspective, taking on board sports scientists, nutritionists, psychologists, etc., as this is something just developing in Greece?
Yes. As I said, our main issue and all our resources now are to rebuild our training facilities, that they will include accommodation and all the surrounding specialties that a sport club needs, such as rehab, nutrition, etc. It's something that the first phase of this renovation and reconstruction starts in a couple of months, and the first phase of this project will be ready in a couple of years from now on, and in the following 5 years' time, a biggest and a largest training facility with more opportunities for people that are working in sports and for the sports will be in place. But it's something that we will announce it as it will be ready quite soon, actually. And in the future, it's gonna be a separate section in the OFI site, so everybody can find informations and probably opportunities for such activities if they are professionals or whatever.
So, Mr. Papavasilakis, I would like to thank you so much for your time. It was great having you.
Thank you very much.
We wish every success to you and your club.
Thank you.
We will be happy to see you again.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.